Reform. Our first interview is with Congressman Raul Grijalva. Grijalva is in his 5th term as a member of Congress. He is the son of a migrant worker who came from Mexico in 1945 with the Bracero program. Grijalva was the first Latino elected to the Tucson Unified School District Board. Grijalva is considered one of the most outspoken leaders on the issue of immigration reform. I met with him in Washington, D.C. to discuss immigration. This is what he had to say. SB 1070 have been introduced in other states, such as Michigan and Minnesota. How does this reflect on and how will it impact the general tone of immigration reform in the United States?
Let's just go by what it did in Arizona.
Okay.
It's been and continues to be very divisive. It has generated some real splits along a variety of communities. It has racially charged the debate more than it should be. It's always been an underlining issue to the question of immigration, but now this makes it front center. The profiling aspect primarily, and because of the empowerment of police to be able to stop on reasonable suspicion. If you replicate these in other places, I just see the same experience that we're having in Arizona, which is not healthy. It's not healthy for the economy, and it's not healthy for the social well-being of our communities. Instead of pushing members of Congress, both senators and members and Congress people, to really tackle this federal obligation of immigration reform, as I've seen the impact in Arizona, it kind of makes them even more cautious and timid to take the issue on.
In a time where we have grown as a nation,
there's an expectation that we would want to fix it at a national level because it's a national responsibility. But then there's also the political reaction where some of my colleagues, and I'm talking about Democrats because I'm a Democrat, have backed off the issue tremendously because of 1070 and the popular support that it has. So it's become another reason not to move forward.
We who are really Christians need to rise up.
I think it's just a political. We're afraid to lose. We're afraid to rub somebody the wrong way.
I think it's caution.
They do all of this talking, spewing out all of this hatred in the name of Christianity.
It's been used very effectively as a wedge issue, you know. Amnesty, secure the border first, an invasion. And so these things keep getting beat up via the media and political leaders in our state and across the country. And so what it does to people is it either sends them to try to mimic that rhetoric, or it silences them.
But if we don't speak up, they will continue to have free reign with their propaganda. And we cannot afford that anymore.
Those that do stand up to that rhetoric then become the focal point of a lot of attention, and I can speak for myself.
It is a difficult issue.
Yeah, the smart thing I've been told is to keep quiet. The smart thing is to hide in the tall grass and let the issue kind of go away and just worry about getting yourself elected. And unfortunately, many of my colleagues are taking that advice on this issue. I hope it's momentary. I hope they realize that we have a huge problem that's getting worse in this country, and that they'll come back with a little more gumption, a little more spine to tackle this very difficult problem.
Oh, that's the Texas, can't you see? Can't you see what the state is doing to me?
What do you think is the biggest myth or misconception about illegal immigrants in the United States?
God, that's a great question. One, that it is an economic drain, that it is sucking the economic lifeblood of this country, particularly in these tough recession that we're in right now, this deep recession that we're in. It becomes even more prevalent myth, and it is a myth. More goes in than comes out. Much, much more goes in. And I think the other myth is that this is a threat to the culture of America. This diversity, this language, this culture is somehow taking away the American culture. which no one has ever been able to describe in the history of this nation. We're a nation of immigrants. We're a great experiment in diversity, the greatest experiment on the face of the earth in diversity. That's the social myth that's out there, that these people are not American enough. 1, 2, 3, which is a total myth, because like any other immigrant, by second generation, by first generation, the integration process and the assimilation process into America is already well on its way, if not completed. And the economic one, like I said, there's more that goes in terms of economic output by immigrants and undocumented people than ever will be taken out.